Hello friends, for lesson 1.2, we're actually going to take a look at our student reference book. Now we do have paper copies of that, but right now we are going to explore the online version of the student reference book. It's kind of a cool tool that we'll use throughout the year, so make sure you pay attention and take a look for yourself and see what you find. There's some interesting things in there. So you're going to log on to your Connect Ed. Go to your Everyday Math tab and click on it. When you get there, this screen right here will pop up, and you'll notice this light blue tab says Student Reference Book. I'm going to click on that, and it takes me right to this book. And on the right-hand side right here, hold on one second, I think that's out of my screen right here. I have a right arrow that means we're going to go to the next page. This is a nonfiction textbook, so it's got a lot of the nonfiction text features we would see in other nonfiction books. But there's a table of contents, and the table of contents is laid out in number order. And also by what standard we're working on, such as standards for mathematical practice, operations, and algebraic thinking. So today we're going to take a look at some things. I'm going to look through the table of contents to find where I would find the glossary. Here it is. It says I'm going to find the glossary on page 297. Now watch carefully what I do. Down here at the bottom, this is where all the page numbers show up. I can click and highlight that and type in 297 and click enter. When I do, you'll notice I am now in the glossary right here. There's some appendix, and then here's the start of the glossary. We see that this is laid out in alphabetical order. I've got A, and what does the glossary do? It has math vocabulary words in it, and it gives us the definition of each word. So if I wanted to know what the term number grid meant, I would actually need to click to another page because I'm on all of the A words. So algebra, addition fact, area. I'm going to go to the page for number grid. Here it is right here. I see name collection box, near doubles, still not on that page. Go to the next page. And let's see, I've got number line. So actually, let's just look at the number line. It doesn't look like they have the word number grid in here, but we've got a number line. So the number line, that word is in red, and the definition is right after it. A line with numbers marked in order on it. And then it gives me an example. There's lots of visual examples. Also, over here on page 305, I have the picture graph, a graph that uses pictures or symbols to represent data. The key for a picture graph tells what each picture or symbol is worth, and then it gives an example of a picture graph right here. Now let's take a look at the index, and I've already looked this up and I know it's on page 319. So again, down at the bottom, I'm going to highlight those numbers, type in 319, and click go. And it took me right to my index. Again, it is laid out in alphabetical order. And it's a little bit like the table of contents, except it just says a word. It's not and then it tells us on what page number we can find that. So if I wanted to look up the rules for the game Spin and Round, let's see if I can find the word spin and round. That is going to be a game. So I may have to look under the game tab. Let's see. Okay, so here's games under G. Let's see if they have the spin and round right here. So it says page 258 and 259. And this is one way we would use the student reference book throughout the year, is to look up how to play a game. Because as you can see, there's quite a few third grade math games. So we might use it to find the directions if we don't know how to play, especially if we're at home and we're trying to know how to play that game. All right, spin and round. It tells us the materials we'll need, how many players, the skill and the object, and then tells us the directions. I could also click this speaker button to have it read to me.
Materials. Did you put stuff?
All right, and that is that. The last thing that I wanted to show you today is something else that we might use a lot this year. I'm going to go to page 311. Oh, that was the glossary. I'm going to go to page 268. Yes, so real world data. We will use some of this real world data to help us. It starts right here on page 263. We will use this data to solve problems. So if I needed to, if they said to look in my reference book on page 265 to look at this map of temperatures, normal, spring, high, and low temperatures, I would come to this to get my answers, this page. They're going to talk about animal clutches in some of our questions in our math workbook, and we can find that information on page 266 and 267. Maybe you didn't know. I always learned this so when I was teaching this lesson, but a nest of eggs is actually called a clutch. And so that is what we'll be learning about when we use that real world data. They've got some vending machine snacks so that you can use this information to solve some money problems. We've got masses. We're going to be talking about grams and kilograms this year. And they've got a chart on this page that gives us some information that we'll need. And it goes on and on. So that might be some pages. We're also going to talk about length of day. So you might want to take a look at that page. And then we've got train schedules and airline schedules. Did you know that all of this is using your math skills in the real world? So we may need to use these pages. So it's good for you to take a look at the student math reference book today. After you flip through and take a little look, you're going to complete Math Journal page 4, and it's going to ask you to look up some specific information using your student reference book. All right, please let us know if you have any questions. Thanks.